Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Hutchinson City Council meeting for January 13th, 2026. We'll call the meeting to order. Approve the council agenda. Any agenda additions or corrections?
Mayor and Council, we have one addition for you. You can put it on at the end of the new business, but it's a temporary liquor license. We had an application that came in that we thought it'd be better to get on this agenda than instead of waiting to our next one. So
I'll make a motion to approve with that change.
Second.
Motion by Chad, second by Tim to approve agenda with the addition. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those say nay. Motion carries. Invocations by Faith Lutheran Church. All right, we'll just have a moment of silence, please. Next is Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Recognition of gifts, donations, and community service to the city. Does anybody have anything tonight? Alrighty, we do have a proclamation for One Book, One Community. Whereas the city of Hutchinson believes connecting citizens as individuals in a common purpose is a powerful means of building a stronger community. Whereas the city of Hutchinson believes strong community creates a stable and supportive society. Whereas the city of Hutchinson believes citizens of all ages who feel a sense of belonging tend to lead happier and healthier lives. Whereas the city of Hutchinson recognized that One Book, One Community choice of Kent Newburn Lone Dog Road expands a sense of community through a wide-ranging discussion. Therefore, I, Gary T. Forsythe Hutchinson, Mayor, do here proclaim the month of January 2026 as One Book, One Community Month. And we do have Mary Hankey here to talk about the book.
We'll talk about the support we get every year. So I represent the One Book, One Community and also Hutchinson Connects committees. And thank you for recognizing this program with your mayor's proclamation, Gary. This is our 13th year that we've been doing this. The goal is, as Gary mentioned in the proclamation, to build connections among people in our community. And we do this with a shared experience of reading and discussing a book together. We found a sweet spot after the holidays and before the spring rolls around where the months get pretty long. And we have families, friends, coworkers, and neighbors get together and to discuss the book that our committee has chosen. And we keep hearing about the issue of loneliness and its effect on our health and well-being. And it's being brought up more and more in different ways. We also have received feedback from people that have come to these programs and said that this is the first program that they had gone to Hutchinson, and they felt that they were just pleased to have that offering, and it was an effective way for them to discuss things with other people and just a good way to connect. And that's made us feel really good. Over the years, we've read and shared a wide range of books during the winter months. Last year, we read Gunflint Falling, about the blowdown storm in the Boundary Waters on July 4th, 1999. We've also read novels over the years by Minnesota authors that are popular locally, like William Kent Kruger. Our goal is to try for a variety in the type of books selected so that we can appeal to wide different reading preferences. And that's probably the biggest challenge in this whole thing, is to try and find one book that's going to appeal to everybody, and we have some people trying books that they haven't read before and liking them, and others, that are really fascinated by a topic and just surprised. So it's been a challenge, but it's interesting to get the feedback too. One thing in common, though, is that all these books have a Minnesota connection, and that every time at the end of the program, we have a Meet the Author program, and there's an evaluation to fill out. And we always get good comments on the fact that they liked that it was a Minnesota author, they liked that it was the subject, like Gunflint Falling, about Minnesota, so they've appreciated that. And the bonus is that by having this Minnesota connection, our programs qualify for funding from a Minnesota Legacy Grant. So we're bringing in money for this cultural event, which is part of the legacy funding. My favorite comment from last year's program, though, came from an 8-year-old who said, he wrote down, "I liked it and I wasn't bored." As a grandmother of a 7-year-old, I appreciated that as high compliment indeed. So that's down as my favorite so far. This year's book, Lone Dog Road, is a novel by Kent Nurburn. The story is set in the 1950s in the drought-stricken Dakota Plains in western Minnesota. 2 young Lakota boys are on the run from a government agent sent to take them to an Indian boarding school without their parents' permission. Basically, the kids were just going to be kidnapped and then put in this mission school far away from their home. Kent Nurburn is not only an acclaimed Minnesota author, but he's a sculptor, educator, known for his works focusing on Native American culture and spirituality. Several people in the community suggested him. They had heard him speak at other places and said that he was an excellent speaker, and he was just really connected, in a deep way with them. He'll be joining us for a Meet the Author event on March 21st at Cross Point Church. There will also be a community book discussion open to everyone on February 21st at the Depot. One thing that's I don't know if the One Book One Community program has encouraged this, but there's been many more book discussion groups that are in Hutchinson. Katie, the librarian, said I asked her how many, and she said, I don't know, 7, 8, and she said there's others that I don't know about. So it's a way maybe that people are finding that they can connect with other people that they might not ordinarily connect with. So this is funded by the Legacy Grant, also Thrive in Action Grant, and the Friends of the Library. We partner with the Hutchinson Public Library, Hutchinson Station Newspaper, and Hutchinson Health. You can get the book through the library. They have individual copies you can check out. But to respond or to help with the book clubs, we have something called a book club kit. So you don't check out the books individually, you check out a tote that has about 12 copies of the books. And so it saves a lot of work and hassle. And we've got waiting lists on everything, the individual copies, the book club kit. And so that's the way you could check it out. If you want to buy a book, you can get it at the Bookkeepers. And just a shout out to the new bookstore in town. They've been really great at publicizing this program. They had a display where they had all the 12 books that we've had over the years and copies available that people could buy. And also then a big question mark for the big reveal. And believe it or not, it gets to be a thing. It's like, what's the book going to be this year? And so we've been sworn to secrecy, to just have it announced in the paper. And it's kind of funny, but anyway, she played on that, and it was fun. So if people want their own copies, they can get one from the Bookkeepers. Right across the street from the Dairy Queen. Then you can go. I'm leaving a copy of the book with Melissa, and I've left one every year, and it's free for the staff and city council to use as they want. You can find out more information about, or the community can find out more information about this program on our One Book One Community Facebook site or calling the library. So thanks again for supporting this. 13 years, maybe we'll make it 14, who knows? So thank you.
Thanks, Mary.
Thanks, Mary. Thank you.
Moving on, public comment, citizens addressing the council, just please come forward, state your name and address for the record. Radio approval of minutes, we have the regular meeting minutes of December 23rd, 2025.
Make a motion to approve those minutes?
Second?
Motion by Chad, second by Pat to approve those minutes as presented. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries. Consent agenda will be done with one motion unless somebody pulls something off for discussion. A is consideration for approval of the 2026 license renewals. B is resolution number 15972, resolution disposing of surplus police property. C is resolution number 15973, resolution appointing Matthew Yannick as city administrator for 2026. D is resolution number 15974, resolution designating official newspaper as the Hutchinson station. E is resolution number 15975, resolution easy for me to say, thanks, man. Designating depositories for the city funds in commercial banks and institutions. F is resolution number 15976, resolution modifying the 2026 fee schedule. G is selection of council vice president, that'd be Chad Shamalski. H is designating of council representatives to boards and commissions. That would be Airport Commission would be Gary Forcier. Hutchinson Economic Development Authority, that's the EDA, be Chad Shamalski and Pat May. The Hutchinson Housing and Redevelopment Authority, HRA, that'd be Gary Forcier. 4 is Library Board, Tim Burley. Park Recreation Community Education Advisory Board, Chad Shamalski. Planning Commission, Dave Sebesta. Public Arts Commission, Pat May. Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Committee, Pat May. Sustainability Board, Tim Burley. Other boards, Mid-Minnesota Commission, Dave Sebesta. Joint Planning Board, Dave Sebesta. Fire Relief Association, Chief Mike Schumann. City Administrator Matt Yannick and Mayor Gary Forcier. Resource Allocation Committee would be Gary Forcier and Chad Shamalski. Wage Committee, Pat May and Chad Shamalski. Labor Union Negotiation Committee, Gary Forcier and Tim Burley. Marketing and Branding Committee, Tim Burley and Pat May. Designating council representatives for other temporary committees, Lakes River Basin Study Technical Advisory Panel, that's TAP, would be Gary Forcier and Chad Shamalski. Consideration for approval of the 2026 city calendar. Consideration for approval short-term gambling license to Crow River Cutters on February 7th, 2026 at McLeod County Fairgrounds. M is approval of purchasing Public Works Bobcat Toolcat utility vehicle. And N is claims to appropriation and contract payments.
That's a doozy.
Oh my gosh, I think that's a record, I think.
Wow.
I think.
Motion to approve consent agenda. Second.
Motion by Pat, second by Tim to approve as presented. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries. Public hearing, water treatment plant reverse osmosis membrane replacement project letting number 3, project number 26-3. And we have a resolution underneath there. Could be resolution number 15977, resolution ordering improvement and preparation of plans and specifications. Good evening, Mike.
Mayor and Council. I'll make this quick. I really only have one slide. Very straightforward project, but wanted to give you the details and then again, open it up to any public comments that there might be relating to it. This is a project we had on the books last year as part of our CIP, and we had anticipated we hadn't anticipated as much of a lead time, and when we got to the fall of this year, realized it really is about a several month kind of order. So we approached it in trying to get it taken care of here early this year with the order with a fall replacement. So fortunately, again, just good maintenance on the part of the staff. The 7-year rotation at this point, which is typically 5 to 6, we should be fine. They're still performing quite well, but we would like to at least get them replaced this coming fall. So last done in 2019, as noted. These are a picture, or this is a picture of our 3 skids. So all 3 of the units will get replaced. Again, if approved, we'll put this out for bid here over the next couple of weeks, open them here the first part of February, and then replace in the fall. So, and I should note too, no service disruptions are anticipated. We don't expect any change, but we do want to get through the summer months where we get heavier usage and then replace them in the fall. So. If there are any questions, otherwise I'll go over real quick the finances. We've budgeted for $400,000. The initial estimate we had came in around $360,000. So we do expect to do better than, but again, we'll use water plant reserves for the funding of this project. So won't affect rates. We're not anticipating any rate change or anything like that by way of doing this project. And again, this was a budgeted project for last year.
Mike, maybe for those that are watching on TV or those in attendance, what do the membranes do?
Membranes provide really our finished water. Hutchinson, we benefit from a great finished water, but we have a very aggressive water to start. And so the RO system basically serves as kind of a fine filtration. So it removes a lot of the harmful sediments and things that kind of exist in the raw water we have and provides a really good finished water itself. So really a fine filtration and kind of a flushing of the existing water itself.
So it takes out the minerals and the iron, and
Correct.
that way when people use sprinklers, they don't turn their side of their house.
Yeah, there's that element.
Yeah.
We actually had a company here in town just recently had wondered about, they had just taken over this company and they noticed that exact thing with the irrigation system. Turns out they had a private well. I hadn't realized it. Eric, of course, in our water plant had known, but that was the source was the private well, not the finished water. So we're actually going to be switching them over. They're going to get onto the city water system. So get rid of another private well in the city. But yeah, that's a good example of what you'd see otherwise.
Any other questions for Mike? Otherwise, we'll open up for public comment to give the public a chance to come up and ask questions on this here project.
I'm going to ask the public to come forward, state your name and address, and opportunity to ask any questions regarding this project.
Make a motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
Motion by Chad, second by Pat to close the public hearing. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries. Entertain a motion to approve that resolution.
Motion to
You got 2
approve.
resolutions there, Gary.
Oh,
Can we do them both, or do we have to do them separately?
You can do them together if you'd like.
Motion to approve resolution 15977 and 15978.
I'll second both of them.
Motion by Pat, second by Chad to approve both resolutions. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Next, we have Candace up for the Liquor Hutch year-end report. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Once again, we have our annual report from the Liquor Hutch. Just a short snapshot of what's happening at Liquor Hutch. For the first time in my career in municipal liquor, I have to stand before you today and say that we had a decrease in sales. It's never happened before. We've always increased our sales. We understand that there's a national movement happening that is creating less purchasing of alcohol, and we are definitely seeing that in Hutchinson. So last year we were at 7.7 million, or in 2024 we were at 7.7. In 2025 we were actually at 7.5. You can see the sales here. Our sales were down 2.2%. You can see by category, liquor sales were actually pretty even. Beer sales were down significantly at 5.8%. Wine sales were down 4.2%. And the new category that we added a couple years ago, THC sales, were up almost 34%. Our customer count was down 2.2%. Our average sale per customer, though, is actually exactly the same as it was the year before, which is unusual. Our gross profit dollars, although our sales, if you look at our sales being down 2.2%, and compare that with our gross profit dollars that were actually up by 1%, that's a good trend. At least the sales are down, but our profits are up. So we actually managed our gross profits to be up 3.4% over what we budgeted, which means that since our expenses are running as budgeted, we will easily be able to make our $550,000 transfer to the general fund, which I know is a major concern for the council. And as I note here, our 2025 sales were impacted by national trends. I think I mentioned during budgeting that there was a Gallup poll done in August of 2025 that actually showed that alcohol consumption in the United States is at its lowest level since 1939. So a very dramatic change in people's habits, drinking habits. Not a bad change, not a bad thing, just something that we need to adjust to. And so, we are working to do that, and I think we've been successful last year in that although our sales are down, our gross profits are up. This graph just shows you our transfers in the 20 years since our store was remodeled. So in 2006, we went through the expansion remodel, and in the past 20 years, we have transferred over $9 million to the city general fund. So some of the trends that we're dealing with, the first thing, as I mentioned, that there is a decrease in consumption. The Gallup poll did show that decrease is happening in the oldest of alcohol consumers, so the baby boomers. Most of us are aging out. We're, taking medications, we're drinking less, it's happening. And also the other big demographic change is the youngest, the 21 to 30-year-old alcohol consumers. That age range is consuming at a much lower rate than the generations before them. They're much more health conscious. As a result of that, we have increased our selection of low ABV or less alcohol products in the store, and also our selection of non-alcohol products. So where we used to have a 4-foot end cap of products that were NA, non-alcoholic, we now have 12 feet of product. It includes beer, wine, liquor, and also a new category that's known as functional beverages. Functional beverages are those things that are, they're kind of like sodas, but they have health benefits. Various, yes, yeah, adaptogens and probiotics and mushrooms, not the psychotropic part, but those healthy mushrooms, that kind of thing. And we're seeing an uptick in sales on those things. So basically, we're trying to follow those demographics, right? If that new customer doesn't want to drink alcohol, we're trying to provide them with what they're looking for, which are these more healthy beverage alternatives that they can take to the party. You know, they come as pre-mixed cocktails. They're not liquor, but pre-mixed cocktails and that kind of thing. Another trend in marketing, we're doing a lot of Facebook, Instagram, direct email. Those are still our most effective tools. Our website, our Liquor Hutch website, we find that people are doing a lot of pre-shopping on the website as well as direct ordering where they come in and pick up. And THC sales continue to increase. It's been quite a year for THC sales, honestly. But just to note that we are in full compliance with all of the changes that happened in 2025 that had to be in place by January 1st, 26. So that meant we had to go through quite the process for state licensing. We are fully licensed by the state. We are fully licensed by the city at this point. And we currently meet all of the new packaging requirements for THC. Nationwide, there's on the federal level, there's a lot of question about THC sales. We're hoping that as we go through this next year, the lobbying that is occurring at our nation's capital will resolve some of those issues. It's interesting to note that the liquor industry, the major distributors, distilleries, and the breweries, they were the ones that lobbied to stop THC sales, mostly because they're losing margin, they're losing sales to the THC products.
Jim Beam, Martin's one of the largest bourbon wholesalers in the world, is shutting the plant for a full year. They don't want to miss out on that money. So until they get paid, you're going to see some huge cutbacks and restrictions.
Yeah.
They want a slice of the THC pie.
I think as soon as legislation is passed that allows the federal government to get a tax share on THC, we'll see THC remain legal, right? They need their slice of the pie. Some of our successful ongoing programs at Liquor Hutch, our loyalty program continues to be successful. We continue to have the 15% off import and craft beer day on Thursdays. Online purchasing continues to be successful. We do a lot of social media marketing that we're seeing good results from. Multiple buys within the stores or in the store. We've done numerous tasting events throughout the year, in-store and off-site. We are still buying bourbon barrels. So the store buys the entire barrel and has it bottled with a label that says Liquor Hutch on it. That's still a very good program. And this year, for the first year, it became legal for liquor stores to do allocated bourbon auctions. So we used to do allocated bourbon lottery, where we would draw names and give people the opportunity to purchase. This year we did something different. We put the auction in place, and we pretty much doubled our dollars on that auction. So our sales normally would have been around $8,000, and they were $15,600 some on that
Kind of a
auction.
unique system. I talked with Candace about it, and they put the bottles out, and then it's kind of like a blind bid. So if you have a chance to up your ante or a silent auction, it's a pretty unique way of kind of solving a problem where people were hand picking or cherry picking. They might not have been customers, and they would buy your good stuff. This gives everybody a fair chance to get some of
It
those
did
special
give everyone a chance for bottles that they maybe would never have been drawn for. And so they used the auction instead. And people were happy with it. Our customers were happy. It brought a lot of interest to the store. It brought customers in to look to see what was there. It was pretty successful.
and legal.
And legal. We don't do anything that's not legal.
Sorry, Chief Gifferson's not.
In 2026, a couple improvements that we're working on. We're going to paint the store. The interior of the store hasn't been painted since the remodel in 2006, so it's been 20 years. So it's time to get the interior painted. We're looking at doing that in February. We're choosing paint colors right now, so if you go in the store, you'll see some little patches of paint around. We're trying to check lighting and, decide what color to paint. Also, we need a refrigeration update to the import and craft cooler. All of those things were budgeted for in our budget for 2026. Some challenges and goals. So under the category of budget management for 2026, a goal is to manage our labor to sales to 12% and to increase our gross profits to 27%. Right now for 2025, our gross profits in the store ran close to 26.5, so we're looking to add another 0.5% gross profit. Inventory management, we're seeing a lot of changes in sales categories, as I mentioned. The whole liquor industry is going through some shifts, and so we're working to make sure that we have the proper dollars of inventory in each category. And marketing, social media marketing is that's quite the animal, I guess. We're constantly looking for newer and better ways to reach people with social media. So one of our goals this year is to continue to work on that. And we're putting into place a wine passport promotion this year. We worked with one of our vendors to produce the wine passport. It has, you get a stamp for buying wines from different areas of the world. And when you've completed your book of 20 different wine purchases, you get a free wine bag. So it's kind of fun. Hopefully, we're hoping that it's going to encourage people to explore the wine department again, because wine sales, as we saw, are down. So instead of just buying the wine you always buy, it'll help you to explore and find something new. And you get a 20% discount on that bottle when you buy it from various regions. And staffing in 2026, one of the goals for myself, anyway, for me, is to facilitate a smooth transition into 2027 management.
Why is that?
That's
Happy
because
trails
Candace is going to
to you.
retire. Yes, I'm planning to retire at the end of 2026.
So I got a couple of questions, but
Yes.
For THC, do you have just people coming in just purchasing that, or do they purchase liquor and that, or?
It's both, I suppose, but we see a lot of people who have made the choice not to drink, to not drink alcohol, but who are using THC for many reasons. Some for pain relief, some for sleep, some for socializing. It is often a distinct customer, though.
And staffing, how are you doing with staffing?
We're doing
Really
great.
good?
Yeah, I think we're well staffed at the moment. I don't anticipate that we're going to have any, large needs or significant needs anytime soon. You never know. We do staff. We have 19 employees, 20 including myself, so 5 full-time, and the rest would be part-time employees. So we do have a large amount of part-time employees, and they do a great job for us. The whole staff at Liquor Hutch is really, really super. We're really proud of them. So.
Well, I was kind of surprised that sales were down, because it seems like every time I drive by, you guys are busy.
Yeah. We're still a $7.5 million liquor store, which is, pretty good volume liquor store. This fall, I did regional meetings for the Minnesota Municipal Beverage Association, where I helped to facilitate the meetings, I guess, throughout the state. So there were 7 different meetings in different areas of the state. And as I was going around, I have to tell you that it was like 10% down, 12% down. There were a couple stores that were up in areas that were experienced a lot of population growth. For that reason, stores were up. But I walked away from that saying, okay, if we're 2.5% down, we're doing okay. Yeah. It's just the nature of the business right now.
Any other questions for Candace?
No, I think it's interesting, when you see the 20-somethings with their energy drinks now, that's, and I think that's the alternative to liquor is that, well, I get the uplifting feeling.
Caffeine. Yeah, as I said, it's not a bad thing. We're all about moderation. We're all about controlling the sale. It's a good thing. If people drink less, we, appreciate that. It's just how we work our business plan.
I would like to add on the employee side, because I used to be in there quite often, that part of the reason they have such a good staff is the leader, because she sets a really good example.
Thank you.
Easy program to follow, and easy person to work with. Candace is
Did you ask
right at
them?
the top.
You might want to ask them.
I have.
All right.
Thanks, Candace.
All right. Thank you.
Keep up the good work. All right, moving on, unfinished business. We have second reading and adoption of ordinance number 25-870. Ordinance authorizing sale of municipal-owned land to Castle Holdings LLC.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. At the last council meeting, you approved the first reading and the purchase agreement of this ordinance. Again, it's involving the small unbuildable lot on the south side of the old Shopko building. It's going to be transferred to Castle Holdings, which is the parent company of Midkey. Nothing's changed since the first reading of the ordinance. Just as a reminder, there's going to be an easement agreement that wasn't quite done for this packet, but it's going to be in the next packet. That's going to preserve the parking spaces along Fireman's Park and some of the other drainage and utility easements. But as I mentioned, nothing's changed with regard to this ordinance or purchase agreement, and I ask that you approve the second reading and adopt it.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Pat, seconded by Tim to approve. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. New business, issuing tobacco license to OSA Retail LLC DBA Hutchinson One Stop located at 1201 Main Street North.
Yeah, Mayor and Council, we have, this is the property of Hutchinson Outpost. It's been acquired by a new owner, and so with the new owner, there's a need for a new tobacco license. And so I know staff has done the background on it, and they're eligible for a license and would recommend approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Tim, second by Pat to approve. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
You say nay. Motion carries. Setting date for city administrator annual performance review.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. As you mentioned, it is that time of year again to give Matt his annual performance review. And discussing it with Kelly, who will actually be collecting all the information regarding the review. She felt that the best time to have the review scheduled would be for 4 o'clock on February 24th before that council meeting. And so if you could set that date and time as Matt's annual review, it would be appreciated.
You said 24th?
February
24th.
24th at 4 p.m.
Sounds good. Motion to set that meeting for February 24th, 4 p.m.
I'll second that.
Motion by Pat, second by Chad to set that meeting for February 24th, 4 o'clock for Matt's performance review.
May I add one question? Is Kelly sending out all that
Yeah.
fill out stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's going to be sending out the questionnaires for you to complete and get back to
Perfect,
her.
thank you.
Any other discussion? Call a motion. All in favor
Motion.
say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion
That was
carries.
nice.
Thank you.
Jeez, Pat, for once, you were behind this.
Roll call vote.
Okay, alrighty, 12.5, we have liquor license for the Hutchinson J.C.'s.
Chamber of Commerce. It's just a temporary on sale license for the 30th of January. So, it's been reviewed by staff, asked to consider to approve it. So.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Pat, second by Tim to approve Chamber of Commerce. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries. Alrighty, we don't have any reports. So staff update, Chief Gifferson, you got anything for us tonight? I don't have anything unless you have a question. Mike? No. Candace, you all done talking? Mm-hmm. Alrighty. Mark, you got anything for us tonight?
Nothing else tonight.
Matt?
Just a reminder, offices are closed on Monday for the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. And then we have our first union negotiations Tuesday at 10 a.m. So for the council members are a part of that.
Alrighty. Tim, you got anything for us?
Well, we completed our move, our family moved from the south end of town to the north end, and I could say Hutchinson on the north end of town is just as great as Hutchinson is on the south end of town. So, been quite busy, but that's it, all I have for tonight.
You know, in the old days, there was a South Enders, North Enders deal. I don't know if that's.
Well, there's no railroad tracks, so we don't know which side of the
They
track.
took those out.
Washington Avenue.
But no.
Can show you where they were. Pat?
We had our arts, the Public Arts Commission, we picked statutes for the statue, or the sculpture stroll, and we did that last Wednesday, went real well. We picked 11 from our committee, and then Citizens Bank and Ridgewater pick one for each of them. So sometimes what happens is you pick them, you send out the invites or the ask, and you get them back, but all the ones we picked are available, and so that's all set, and they'll start coming in May. You'll notice the old ones are still up there all town. They won't be taken down until it warms up, but it's a fun thing. Gained one person on we haven't yet. You have to approve it next.
How many did you have, Pat?
So there are 13. There are some permanent ones.
No, I mean
submissions. We had over 30, which was, you have to.
Really?
We have some locals, and you have a lot of repeats, a lot of people that go to Mankato, Delano, regional ones, but there's some neat stuff. There's some stuff that you kind of look at and go, we try to pick a couple of those too, so that people, I enjoy the committee. They put in good work, and actually would like to expand those locations for more sculptures, so something we'll look into.
Sounds good. Chad?
We had a park board meeting, talked a lot about the stuff we approved at the last meeting in December for the park board, and talked about, we need some cold weather so we can get some outdoor ice going, so. Otherwise,
Winter started like it was going to be, and
it started out with a roar, but then now it hasn't snowed or.
Now that you said that, the next couple of days are going to be cold. So
it should be cold enough to have outdoor ice, but they were all set last week to open the outdoor warming house, and that didn't happen. Fizzled. So hopefully next week. So
Chad, I was in Delano this morning, and they just installed a artificial outdoor ice. It's not ice. They were putting up the boards today. It was pretty cool. I wanted to stop and see it.
They do it's called a Puck in the Park, like every year. So that's this coming weekend. So.
Well, I think and this is a new new type of ice that it's not ice. It's not water. But it's like an official, looked like a hockey rink, and should have took the time to get out and see it. But yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be getting asked for that in the Parks Board. They'll want a new sheet of ice.
I'll bring it up. But otherwise, I didn't have anything else.
So Chad, the ones at Park Elementary, correct? And then Northwoods?
They're gonna do one in Northwoods if weather allows, but there's not gonna be a warming house there, and the neighbors are going to shovel it
Take care of it.
if the Parks Department's busy.
Okay.
If we were getting
If we ever get cold weather or snow.
I think it's supposed to get cold pretty quick.
It's supposed to get cold this weekend, so.
So, oh, I'm sorry, is that it?
That's it.
Okay, thank you. Boards and commissions, we do have openings on it. So anybody interested, just come down and you can get an interest form here at City Hall and fill it out and send it in. I did have one, we do have openings on the Utilities Commission, and been talking with the commissioners and Jeremy, and we got set up to get some interviews for that. So we'll taking applications. So if you're interested, and I do have one. Oh, this one's from Katie May. She wants to be on the Public Arts Commission. I don't know.
Better find somebody to vouch for.
Yeah, maybe.
A little nepotism there.
So if there's no objections, I think I'll put her down on, so to appoint her to the Arts Commission. That's all right. The other thing, Matt, you want to talk a little bit about your pre-meeting, council meeting thing that was on I seen it on Facebook. Where else is it on? It's on, I saw it on TV, right?
And, and I shared a little bit in partnership with HCV, and they actually reached out to me about an idea. I'm not sure if Liz came up with it or what, but this idea of going through the council agenda in advance of the meeting. And so at this point, I think we filmed it on Thursday, where the agenda that we had tonight, I spent a little bit of time going through each agenda item to explain a little bit about what it is and what we're talking about, and then they'll broadcast that in advance of the meeting. So a lot of times we know that there's a council meeting tonight. It's Tuesday night. People don't necessarily know what's on the agenda for discussion. Even though every one of our agendas and packets gets published on our website, I don't think people know that all the time. And so we're trying to use this as a method to kind of help educate on what actually we're going to be talking about. Because it's one thing to know that there's a council meeting, another thing to know what's going to be on the agenda. And so I know HCVN is doing it. You can see it on their YouTube page. It sounds like they're on the Facebook page, and then it'll be on local access prior to the meetings. So just an opportunity to hopefully be a little more transparent in what we're talking about at upcoming meeting.
It's a good idea.
It was very informative. I mean, I liked it, and
Is that so you can know what you're dealing with on?
Yeah, I kind of,
Harry's needed this for quite some time, is what he's saying.
Yeah, that's all right. The only other thing I had was I didn't have any meetings or anything yet, so they're all packed into this week. So just want to let the general public know if they have a problem with the city, or if they have a complaint, where all of our numbers are on the website. So, or come down and talk to Matt. Yeah, so kind of leave our public works people alone and our parks department people alone. Like I said, if you got a complaint, my cell phone's on the website, so call me and I'll take care of it or direct you to the right area. So that's all I had tonight, so let's go home.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Pat, second by Chad to adjourn. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Say nay. Motion carries.